Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. Let's hit a couple minutes. Let's load a gun in case something goes wrong. What is going on, Clint Nation? Happy Modelo Monday to you. I'm not drinking Modelo, though. I got a Monster, and it's actually empty, but I got a bottle of booze over there in case things get a little wild. But on today's show, we're talking about your Dodgers. It's another off-day edition of the show. Sound off in the comments. I want to hear a lot from you guys today. I got a bunch of things to talk about, but I want some interaction. I think it's going to be a fun one. We are talking a whole bunch of pitching, a whole bunch of starting pitching. I got some thoughts on Clayton Kershaw. He's part of Monday's Overreactions. Just to throw it out there for everybody. I got some Gavin Stone thoughts, and of course the latest from the IL for the Dodgers. We got some good Yamamoto news, some less good Tyler Glasnow news, and hey, let's throw in a little bit of will Shohei Ohtani pitch for the Dodgers this season. You know, we'll have some fun with that one. But guys, if you don't know me, my name is Clint Pasillas. Find me as Real FRG, as it says right there on the Twitter, X on the Instagram. I'm a longtime baseball writer and sports editor, and I've been talking about the Dodgers for years here on the YouTube. I do it on my own channel now, so I don't have to pay or work hard and other people take that money from us or take your super chat money. It actually goes to the right people here, so we'll throw that out there just for fun and just to piss some people off. But consider giving the show a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. We're at, I forget where we're at. We're somewhere over 7,200 subscribers. We want to get to 4 billion in about 2 or 3 minutes if possible. But yeah, thumbs up, subscribing, all that stuff help the channel grow. I should also say the show's available on podcast, on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, all of them. If you're able to leave a rating, a review on those, preferably possible, that's another thing that really help out the channel as well. But enough about me. Let's talk about you. Let's see what's going on in the chat over here. We got first one I see. Richard Flores says Devore in the house with an F the Padres. That's right. That's why we loaded the gun right away. Chris Navarro in the chat saying go blue, go azul. What is going on? He also said, what up, Clint? What is going on? Chris Navarro. Joel Rodriguez in the chat. Swelling Sausage in the chat. Our friend. Nice interview with Ned. Yes, we did have Ned Coletti on Dodgers Territory earlier today. The other show I host, co-host with Alana Rizzo, former Dodgers reporter, turned Dodgers reporter again. I also had Ned on the channel on Friday. Dropped the video on Sunday here on my channel. I understand these type of interviews, they don't do very hot on the YouTube algorithms. However, I'm very proud of the chat I had with Ned and Dave on Friday, the one we dropped here on the channel. I think there's some good stuff in there for true blue Dodgers fans, so check it out if you can, or listen to it in your podcast forms. It might be better for you that way. But it was a lot of fun talking to Ned, and kind of glazing on Ned. I feel he deserved a little bit more love than he's gotten over the years from the Dodgers organization. Bob Nightingale in the chat. What's going on, Bob? Good to see you in here. Noah Ortega is going to be in the chat. Our friend Noah. He's not going to be in the chat. He'll be watching, listening live, but not able to chat because he is a big-time working boy. I got to pause here because it's one of the things I'm supposed to do in the first few minutes of the show, but I also, of course, love doing it. I promise you. I got to tell you that BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. The foosball, which is for the devil, is which is I've heard in my time. You got preseason NFL. You got college kicking off. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, even live odds and spreads in real time while games are being played. If you think you know your stuff, if you think you got some luck on your side, get in on their winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor pool for the upcoming season. If there isn't a game going on, or if your game ended, head on over to the online casino they got there. Get in on a game of blackjack. Get in on a game of poker. Unwind with over 150 slot games available right there at your fingertips or your thumb tips if you're nasty. Head to the website today. Use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, so they know I sent you, and you can get in on the action. Bet online, the game starts here. Rebecca is in the chat. Rebecca Michelle David, what is going on? Saying, what's up all? How are we all doing, by the way? No Dodger game today. Kind of why I planned a lot of these shows on Mondays and Thursdays. I got a lot of off days. I'm somebody that enjoys the off day Dodger talk. It's kind of why I've never done the whole what do you call it? I've never been a big time post game guy. It just seems so reactionary. It's coming from a guy who has a segment called Monday Overreactions, but give me something where I can kind of dive in on a few different topics. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. If not, I've been doing it wrong for a number of years. Nando390 says F the Dodger Stadium parking lot. Showtime LA says shots fired, Clint. No, just loaded the gun. Just loaded the gun so far. Josh, get in the chat. Let's see. Hamilton in the chat saying, let's get unhinged Dodger talk. $25 chug a beer super chat. I mean, listen, I'll chug a beer for free, but $25 is $25. I don't have a beer here, but if the super chat came in, we'll make it. The beer fairy will definitely bring in a beer for $25, and if not, I got some Jim right here. We'll say $5 shots of Jim for everybody. Oh God, I'm gonna die. Should I go cheaper? If it's well whiskey, I would do $2. But sure, Hamilton, I'll take you on. $5 or $25 beers. But guys, let's get into weekend headlines. This is what I'm talking about right now. We're talking about the Dodgers taking 2 of 3 against the Tampa Bay Rays. You lose that annoying middle game. The bullpen usage in that game, a little suspect. I think a lot of people not very happy with that bullpen usage. Kind of for some reason, Dave decided to flip-flop Kopech and Phillips, and both of them give up runs. Dodgers lose that game. Game started poorly with Kershaw on the bump, but that's a whole different thing. Talking Kershaw a little bit later in the show, but still, you take the series. So far, the Dodgers are at 5-1 on this homestand. You got a couple more games. Is it more than? I think it's more than 5-1, right? How long have they been home? Anyways, the Dodgers are doing well on this homestand. They tend to do well at home, which you appreciate, and they got one more series coming up against them Baltimore Orioles. Got to talk Shohei. I don't know where you guys were watching the 40-40, the walk-off Grand Slam game. I was in a hot tub having many a drink, enjoying my time, and I was like, this guy's about to hit a fucking homer. This guy's going to walk off Grand Slam right now. He did it. Everybody's happy. The stadium goes insane. Jose Siri loses a very, very important baseball for Shohei Ohtani by throwing it back into the damn the ball, the seats, the pavilion. I don't know where that ball ended up. I didn't follow up on that. Did somebody get it? And if so, they're going to get a whole shit ton of money for it. I don't know that the scenario, how things turned out. If you guys know, let us know. Let me know in the comments below. I'm kind of curious how things turned out, but that's a pretty damn cool benchmark. First Dodger to ever hit 40-40. Of course, 40 homers, 40 stolen bases, 50-50. Talked about this earlier on Dodgers territory. I think that's very much in the realm of possibility. If he gets on a heater, if Showtime can get on just a little bit of a heater with the bat, with the pop, which he kind of is right now, stay on that heater, let it ride. If he's able to hit like 4 home runs in a 6 or 7 game span, it's right there. It's absolutely in the realm of possibility because he's able to just kind of like at will steal bases right now. I think he's ramped up even more. It feels like he's ramped up even more in the second half. Everybody knows he's going, and he's able to swipe those bags with ease. If you're talking about Shohei, you got to talk about the fact that, hey, we got a very, very pretty sight. Dodgers fans for the first time seeing Shohei Ohtani throwing off the bullpen mound at Dodger Stadium. That is pretty freaking cool. And we had a question in our Discord chat earlier. And by the way, if you guys want to join us in Discord, another way you can support the channel is by signing up on Patreon, patreon.com/realfrg. It's $5 a month to join us in Discord and support the channel, or by clicking the join button here somewhere on your YouTube screen if you're watching on YouTube, or do those things if you're watching on Twitter live. Do one of those things and join us on YouTube. We can actually see your comments here on YouTube. Never be on Twitter, guys, unless you need to. But yeah, the question was posed in the or kind of just thrown out there willy-nilly. Fun. It's an Dodgers off day, but could Shohei Ohtani possibly pitch for the Dodgers this October? If you guys want the short answer, it's no, and we can move on. But if you want the longer answer as to why, we could do that, I guess. It's still no, but factors into this. He's less than 12 months removed from his second elbow surgery. Not quite Tommy John. He did have the internal brace procedure. So as he said during his introductory press conference, it was something it wasn't Tommy John. It was something a little bit different. He didn't know what it was called. He knew very little about the surgery that was just performed on his elbow. But the first version of his Tommy John, which happened in 2018, did not feature the internal brace. And this internal brace thing is just like another piece of synthetic tissue, not necessary tissue, but synthetic material that could, in theory, strengthen the elbow and could, in theory, maybe get him back to the mound earlier. That said, Beerus Samus says he got the Ohtani John surgery. I like that. Oh, well, we got the $25 super chat, by the way, from Hamilton. I think that's part of the beer fund. Beer Fairy is going to need to bring not a Cayman Jack, anything but a Cayman Jack. I think we got beers in the magic beer fridge, Beer Fairy, but Hamilton coming in clutch with the $25 beer super chat. But thank you very much, Hamilton. Guys, give his super chat a thumbs up so he knows you love him. Back to Ohtani. The big thing about this is the Dodgers are not going to let their $700 million man pitch this year. That's a fact. If he were pitching, you got stupid people running the organization. Something went dangerously wrong for the organization and with the pitching staff where they got that desperate to need to do it. It's not going to happen. It's just plainly not going to happen. Could he, if you had a less smart organization or if it were a different time, a different era, maybe? Like, in reality, he's throwing bullpens right now. The progression is probably still a month out. Like, let's say, I think somebody threw in Discord, they threw out the idea of him being the guy that could close get the last 3 outs in the Beer Fairy showed up, everybody. Let's give the clap to the Beer Fairy. There's one. Instead, I'm gonna be a corporate shill here. You're good. Thank you, Beer Fairy. Everybody, again, clap for the Beer Fairy. Look at that. I'm also going to be a corporate chill and put my little, you guys can't see it, but it's a Foul Territory band. Shout out, Mark Wiener. $25. Thank you, Hamilton. Where am I at? He's throwing. He could be, if they really wanted to be crazy and desperate, he could be the guy that gets the final 3 outs for the Dodgers in the World Series or something like that. Reprise his role in the World Baseball Classic of a season ago. But that's not going to happen. It's not smart. It's just not a good idea for Shohei to be pitching right now. Also, I'll throw this out here just for fun to expand on the Shohei talk. When he does return to the mound in full next year in spring, I'll set your expectations a little bit now. Do not expect to see the same Shohei Ohtani that struck out Mike Trout to seal the deal for Japan in that World Baseball Classic a season ago. His physician, Dr. Neil Elatrash, world-famous physician who does these Tommy John surgeries, the man who performed his surgery, said this past March that the fact that Shohei Ohtani was like touching 103 with his fastball at some points last season, some points early in spring training last season while he was still with the Angels, again, bad organization, was a bit of a red flag. And that's, he's not shocked that the elbow gave on him during the season. So you might see a tapered down Shohei Ohtani, which is still a very devastating Shohei Ohtani because the fastball plays even at 97, 98. He's got the disgusting splitter. He's got the sweeper. He's got the slide piece. I think he's got a curveball in there, but we get to see him. We get to see him at some point. And I get to see this beer thanks to a $25 super chat from Hamilton. I don't know why it's thing. I mean, I would have done it for free, but I appreciate you. That's it. Do you guys want to see Ohtani throwing for the Dodgers this season? I want to see him doing his bullpens, doing his progression. I don't want to see him pitching in meaningful games. That's where I'm at right now. Let's see what people are talking about here. Pinsanity saying they need to stretch it out regarding Shohei Ohtani. I agree with that one. Pinsanity also said the $700 million is not a one-year deal. We're looking at a long amount of time. You got to care about the future of this man. And you don't even know if he's going to be pitching by the end of that contract. So keep him healthy as long as you can. And Figure out the rest along the way, but don't blow your load, in the first season of 10 seasons. Let's see what else we got here. Juice Narrows says, I think they get cute. I think they bring in Ohtani to get the 3 outs in the World Series. No. Well, 1, no. 2, would it be fun? Absolutely. Like, out of nowhere, of course, it's not a thing that happens in baseball where, like, out of nowhere, Ohtani can just decide he wants to throw that final inning. He needs to be, like, active as a two-way player or however that works. I guess we're going to fully learn how the active roster works with a two-way player next season. But, man, would that be fun. That would be some sort of, like, I don't even know what you would call it, but it would really cement the fact that this was a phenomenal deal, and Shohei got exactly what he wanted. He wanted to go somewhere where he could win some baseball games, and that's what happens when you come to LA, when you become a Los Angeles Dodger. You win baseball games, you win the World Series, and maybe you can walk it off with the final 3 outs of the Game 7 of the World Series or whatever it is. But it's not going to happen. It's absolutely not going to happen. Richard Flores with the $4.99 Super Chat. Thank you very much. Richie, always appreciated from Richard. Says, to the fan who dropped the Ohtani 40th granny, what a choke job. The 2023 Padres still can't believe how bad he choked. Seen better hands on a clock. Ooh, get wrecked. Anytime we could throw the Padres under the bus, we appreciate that. You know what? Shout out to that guy in the front row, in the home run seats, brings his glove. It's a nice glove. Rays fan fucks it up. Rays fan gets in there, pushes his glove out of the way. It closes just enough for him to not get it in the pocket, and that guy loses out on the opportunity of a lifetime, maybe a whole shit ton of money. You don't really know how that plays out. But again, I appreciate the super chat from Mr. Richie Flores. Let's see what else we got here. Blah, blah, blah. He got bumped. I don't know what we're talking about there. Clayton Lockhart, smart man. I appreciate you. Been a great supporter of the channel over the years, or at least this channel will definitely say over the months. But he says, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And he also said that he mashed that thumbs up button. That's something you guys can be doing as well. Also share the video. I mean, sometimes YouTube doesn't like to let people know that we're live, especially if you're not doing something that's making or hitting the algorithm. I do this show every Monday at 6, every Thursday at 6. And usually Dodgers things aren't happening, so sometimes the numbers will be lower unless other things are going on around baseball, around the Dodgers. Right now, it's not much going on. It's an off day. They're home. Nothing to be crazy about. Speaking of crazy, part 2 of our headlines section here, the weekend headlines. Tony Gonsolin, out of nowhere, the Catman, found one of them 9 lives, we'll say. Get the fluff out of here is what I wrote for myself to say. He's a couple of live BPs deep, and he's apparently a couple of live BPs away from hitting a rehab assignment and potentially being a part of this Dodgers pitching staff, or being in the mix in the postseason pitching staff, whatever that may be. As Dave Roberts put it, the door is slightly open for a return. It would be as a reliever, more of a long relief guy, which would help this organization for sure. They need a long reliever. My guy was going to be River Ryan, but, rest in peace, elbow died. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe if everything goes extremely well and there aren't better options, maybe Gonsolin, who at times can be nasty and in a short burst role could be nastier, because we've seen him get the velo up to that 97, 98 range. He's got the splitty. He's got some pitches that move for him. All of a sudden, if you have him being somebody who could piggyback off of Kershaw or be... what I'm looking for here is the Alex Wood guy, the guy we saw in 20 who was so damn important in his very reduced and limited role. Having that Alex Wood guy, somebody who can get you either an inning or 3 innings or 4 innings, probably won't be built up to 4 innings with Gonsolin, but very surprising because the Dodgers closed the door on Gonsolin earlier this year, but he's another one of those guys who had the internal brace procedure as well. If I'm not mistaken, he's somebody who can come back. He's at about 11 months right now. He had the surgery last September, if I'm not mistaken. So that, sometime in September would be right at the 12-month mark, which is at the earliest mark for returning from Tommy John. Is it a good idea? No. Is it nice to have some options? Absolutely. Will we see it? I would bet on no. I would bet on no. Maybe he'll be around. Maybe he'll be available for the taxi squad or something like that. But it's still cool that he's doing his best. He's trying. I don't think it's the same situation like we saw with Walker Buehler last year, trying to force his way back. I think this is just more of where Catman is, where Gonsolin is in his progression from his rehab. He's at that 12-month mark. It's his first Tommy John, so it doesn't take as long as that second Tommy John. And dude's probably been bored. He's itching. He hasn't taken his flea medication. I'm sorry, it's so bad. It's so stupid. Honestly, it's pretty good. That's pretty good, guys. Hit the thumbs up for flea medication joke for the Catman here. But yeah, you know what? I'll say again. I'll reiterate. The one thing this club and this pitching staff needs as October gets closer, as the postseason gets closer, is that long relief guy. Somebody that could give them multiple innings in a postseason. I think Alex Wood. I think maybe a little bit of what we saw Julio Urias do, but, him aside, he was a different animal in that postseason. I don't think we see Gonsolin closing games, closing the final innings for the Dodgers. But hey, maybe a Charlie Morton-esque for them cheating Astros or whatever it may be. Like, unless Clayton Kershaw becomes that long relief guy for the team, and we talk more on Kershaw for a second, Gonsolin could be that guy. Unless it's like a Robleski type or something like that. We're going to dive more into that in just a second. But right now, let's take a couple more comments. Also, I like to do a little promo break here to tell you again, I think it's worth mentioning, we had Ned Colletti on the channel this weekend. Sunday, I dropped the video. Check it out here on All Dodgers. I think if you're a longtime Dodger fan, you will enjoy it. I get some nitty-gritty with Nedward there. I do get a little bit of Frank McCourt talk from him. He actually brought it up first, and I let it eat a little bit. Maybe I should have gone a little bit harder in the paint on McCourt. Maybe I should have attacked McCourt more. But instead, I decided to give McCourt some flowers for his desire to win when he took over the organization. But check that out. And again, we also had him and Dave Hobrecht on the show, world-renowned artist on Dodgers territory today. So check those out if you want a whole bunch of Ned. I know he's doing his rounds everywhere. And again, I understand people inherently aren't big on those kind of interviews. That's why I stopped doing interviews on my old show, because they just didn't do numbers. I enjoy the hell out of them. They're a lot of work. You put in time. You try to craft a story, but or some sort of thread of a conversation. And I feel like I did that pretty decently with this Ned conversation, but people inherently aren't overly interested in half-hour conversations. But hey, go buy their book, the All-Time Dodger Art Book. Check it out. It's pretty badass. It's worth the price of admission for any Dodger fan in your loved one circle, whatever people say. I'm gonna move on because I saw Charles Aguilar said Frank McCourt was my favorite owner. Said Rockies owner Dick Monfort, because it took some of the heat off of him. I'm assuming. Matty Man 5 Dodge says Ned is a very good interview, very likable guy. Absolutely. One of my favorite people. I've talked to him, met him before at the stadium, but this is the first time I really was able to dive in on a conversation. Had a lot of fun talking to Ned. Elisheva Jones talking about Dustin May, because I think I saw somebody asking about May earlier. Yeah, he's done. D May is done with the torn esophagus. I don't know if anybody actually found out exactly what he ate, but I think he was in a restaurant and something went down the wrong pipe for sure. And he is done for the year. Hopefully everything is back and intact and ready to go for spring training 2025. But yeah, somebody get that man some soup. That's what we're looking for. Also have some more of this Hamilton beer. But moving on, guys, it is Monday. You know what that means. It's time for Monday overreactions. And I don't know if this is an overreaction for me, but I'm going to keep it in the vein of overreactions. We got to talk a little bit about Clayton Kershaw's struggles, I'm going to call them, or at least a struggle on Saturday. I'll be blunt. I blame it on them making the organization making him wear the City Connect uniform. Straight up, that's what happened. Then you could take that to the bank. There is more real concern. Should have had the laugh track or something like that. I have the clap button. I don't know if I have laughter around here, but it's a joke. It's a joke. There's more real concern, though, to keep an eye on. The fact that Kershaw threw his first, 6 starts, career high 10.2 hits per 9 inning, career low 7.4 strikeouts per 9. Sorry, 10 hits per 9, 10.2 hits per 9, career low 7.4 strikeouts per 9. So at this point, listen, it's okay for him to kind of be that pitch to contact pitcher guy. He's just getting his feet wet. Like he's recovering from major shoulder surgery in the offseason, so he's trying to bounce back from that. Just happened in November. It's worth noting, all of this Kershaw we've already seen. He's only appeared in 9 games since the surgery. He's only thrown 39 innings since the surgery. That's major leagues and minor leagues. Did not have a spring training, had a very, very short minor league rehab buildup, so it's worth that, or it's worth mentioning that. So it's Clayton Kershaw. He's earned time. He's earned grace from us to kind of bounce back, see what he's got. But is it fair to have some concern at this point, knowing there's just a hair over a month of baseball left? I'd say so. I think it's worth having some concern for Clayton Kershaw, only because we know how this organization views Clayton Kershaw and how maybe he might not be somebody that earns a postseason rotation spot, but gets it based on what he's done in his career. If the Dodgers are down, 2-1 in a short series and Kershaw starting game 4, I'm a little scared. I would be a little scared at this point, just because he's been good, but he's not 2014 Clayton Kershaw. He's not 2020 Clayton Kershaw. Again, there are some concerns on there. So I say the concerns under, I'm going to call it the protection here of Monday Overreactions, the segment Monday Overreactions. I'll give him some excuses for Saturday's start. Just a couple of passes, if you will, for Saturday's start. One, he's a creature of habit. We know this, very well documented and detailed for Kershaw. He's a creature of habit, and he hasn't pitched very many 6 p.m. starts at Dodger Stadium on Saturdays. So I'll throw that out there. And yeah, the number 2, I'm kind of semi-serious about the whole City Connect uniform thing. I saw it in warm-ups. He was wearing it, and I hated it. I hated seeing Clayton Kershaw. I don't mind the City Connect uniform. I don't know if I have the same vitriol that I had early before the uniform drop, but seeing Clayton Kershaw in it, there's something wrong. It left a bad taste in my mouth, especially the hat part. Like Clayton Kershaw wearing the City Connect hat. Like, if we're talking about a man, I know this is a weird hill to die on right now, but if we're talking about a man that is as routine-oriented creature of habit as Clayton Kershaw is, he wears the same hat just about every game all season long. So those little things, in my opinion, add up. Should they for a future Hall of Fame pitcher? No. But again, I gave him some fake excuses and fake passes for a rough opening inning in that Saturday start. So Kershaw struggled. I'm not burying him. I'm not out on 22 at all. But the reality is that right now, if everyone is healthy, or at least the guys that we all want, the organization wants to be their 1, 2, 3 in the postseason, if everybody's healthy, I don't know that he's your number 4 guy. I don't think he's one of the top starting pitching options on the roster if everybody's healthy. So the thing is, I would say he needs to be concerned about Gavin Stone. Gavin Stone taking his spot in that postseason rotation. So this is kind of my part 2 of my Monday overreactions, which is not an overreaction really, but Gavin Stone taking that spot, or really earning that 4th spot in the starting rotation in October. I think that's where we're at. Stoner is all the way back. Five earned runs over his last 23 and 2/3 innings. It's 4 starts. After a rough stretch, he's made a few adjustments, and all of a sudden, Stoner is the real deal again. And I guess my overreaction here is I'm backpedaling on me overreacting earlier in the season or during the midst of his struggles, and saying here I'm atoning for straying from my May and June takes and my stance on Gavin Stone, that he was the number 3 or number 4 starter for this team in the postseason. I think he earned it then, and I think he's earned it now. I think your guy Gavin Stone has got to be in that starting rotation because how does Dave Roberts say it? I can't think of the word right now that he likes to say, but you gotta earn your job, and if you pitch well enough, that should earn you a spot in the starting rotation. Would he, be okay in a long reliever role and Kershaw getting that game 4 start? Sure. I'm sure he wouldn't mind it. I'm sure he'd just be happy to be there or whatever. But, after he sits back, if they get bounced early in the postseason, or even after they win a World Series or whatever it is, I think you would still sit back and be like, dang, I wish I would have been that guy. I wish I would have gotten some starts. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Kershaw, watch out for Stoner. And Kershaw, if Stoner has earned it, he should be the guy. I got a question in the chat. Mike Sears asking who's the top 3. So I get some shit on this one. My number 1 guy, if he's healthy, even with the minor amount of ramp up he's going to have coming back from injury, it's Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I think the stuff is nasty. I think the ability to kind of course correct if something was going wrong in his start is in the tank for him. But mainly what we saw against those New York Yankees, I really like that. And he's not going to be able to start multiple times in a series, so I could understand the argument of maybe that would kind of put him in that number 2 spot. But if you have him starting game 1, maybe he can start game 2 of an NLCS or something like that. But it's Yamamoto, assuming everybody's healthy. Yamamoto, Glasnow, and Jack Flaherty. That's my 1, 2, 3. And at this point, Stone's my 4. He's got to be the 4. I don't care if it's an all right-handed starting rotation. Kershaw, he could be the long reliever. I'd take Kershaw in a long relief role over Tony Gonsolin, but still got some things. You guys see the thumbnail in this video. It says decisions. They got some things to figure out for this starting staff, for this pitching staff. So there's that. We do have a couple voicemails today from the voicemail overreaction hotline, or really just the voicemail hotline. You don't need to overreact. That's just something I personally enjoy, or that was a segment I decided to call it, or what I decided to call the segment when I invented it. Oh, didn't invent it. But anyways, let's go to Monday overreactions, Dodgers overreactions. We got just a couple of calls here from the regulars, from our friends. Let's hear what our guy Noah has to say. I think if I looked ahead properly, he's going to share some thoughts there about Stoner. But let's hear from Noah Ortega.
What up, guys? It's Noah, as you know. And I got to say, guys, I am really, really excited for the season. We have the team and the lineup we need to win the World Series. Let's just hope that Glasnow and Yamamoto return healthy. If they return healthy, then we are set in stone. And yep, I said stone. Gavin Stone, I say, should be our Game 4 starter. Because keep in mind that when he pitched against the Yankees, he was in a playoff atmosphere, and he did his job and exceeded expectations. So I would expect nothing less from him in the postseason. So on top of that, guys, is Ohtani 50-50 is a real possibility. I am all in and believe he will be able to do that. And Joe Kelly, as Clinton himself said in the Discord, which you guys should join, send him to the sun. Joe Kelly, let's be honest here, guys. Let's be honest here. We love Joe Kelly. We love him. But if he was just another player and didn't freaking destroy the Astros and made that, should I say, iconic face, then he would probably not be in the team anymore. So, yeah, I don't want Joe Kelly in the playoff roster. I don't know about you guys. Hopefully we are all on the same page. And I think going back to it, I am a believer of Gavin Lux. I said it a while ago, and I'm still a believer. I think he is sustaining this power, and he's going to sustain it and transfer it to the postseason. We are going to win the World Series this year and probably next year, because keep in mind that everybody we have in our lineup and our starting rotation we have for next year, except for, unfortunately, Jack Flaherty. Let's see if we re-sign him. Barring that, though, guys, have a good rest of your night, and let's go Dodgers.
Noah Ortega checking in on the voicemail hotline. Always appreciate Noah giving us some things to chew on here, giving us some topics to chew on. I want to focus on Joe Kelly for a second because I see some conversation going on in the chat here on the live stream. Oh, I guess that button was still active. So guys, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. But who we got here? Sammy Boy Smith saying that he's defended Joe Kelly all year long. Not anymore. I'm going to talk Kelly, and I have a Kelly thought, I should say, in just a little bit. But the fact that the Dodgers are even kind of concerned about Joe Kelly, they have some issues about Kelly, and they have some other pieces kind of coming back. Brusdar Gratterall. We'll talk more Brusdar in a second. I don't know. The same way Kershaw maybe isn't one of the 4 best starters on this team if everybody's healthy. I don't know that Joe Kelly is one of the 13 best pitchers for this team. There's too much variance in his stuff, in what he's getting done in an outing. You get him in a clean outing, 9 times out of 10, he seems to be dominant. But you get any runners on, he hides. There's a Jekyll and there's a Hyde, and that's a problem. That's for an organization that has struggled as much as they had or have in the last few postseasons, to have somebody that is that volatile. And if there are better options around, and this year, knock on desk, there will be better options around, potentially better options around. Joe Kelly at his best, for sure. We know he's got 100 in the tank. We know he's got the slider. But if he can't locate it, if he's hitting dudes, if he's walking guys, if he's hittable. Rude Street Collectibles in the chat says too many question marks around Kelly, Trinan, and with Kelly, Trinan, and Hudson right now. I like Danny Hudson. Trinan, I would like to see a little bit more. I'd like to see a little bit more runway with him. I think he's been okay since coming back. The whole bullpen, if we're looking at what am I looking for? If we're looking at that Saturday outing where everybody just kind of, you get a homer or you get a run and you get a run, like that's where you do have a little bit of you have some worries that become more front of mind than back of mind. Pinsanity saying Danny Hudson is probably just tired. I agree. He's kind of been the guy who's been the anchor. He's been around the entire season. Everybody else has caught a little bit of a break, whether it be injury or whatever it may be. But with Danny Hudson, he hasn't had that luxury. At this point, I don't know that you can bake in a break. Maybe you just try not to let it eat, 3 or 4 games in a week, and you rest them, but still keep them relevant as you get closer to October. But Joe Kelly, again, to button it, I don't think he's worth one of the top or one of the 13 roster spots in October. I mean, maybe if we see something good out of Tony Gonsolin, shit, give him a try. I know that's not ideal, but if Kelly's been that bad, he shouldn't just get a spot because he made a pouty face 4 years ago. Kenny Chung saying Kelly is the worst arm in that pen. I have to kind of agree with that sentiment right now, for sure. Rebecca siding with our guy Noah, saying Lux Truthers Unite. Hey, you guys know me. Big time Gavin Lux Truther all season long. Never wavered once. I don't care what Showtime LA says. Never wavered once. Always in on my boy Gavin Lux. Also, I'm always going to be hard on him because I expect more out of Gavin, and he's killing it. This is, again, what we've seen since just before the All-Star break. It's the real deal, and hopefully he continues doing that performing like this in that in that 5 or in that 7 hole in the Dodgers lineup in the October. BL Boyd asking, where's D-Mac? We don't do a show together anymore. Sometimes he comes on the channel. Probably get him on in a couple of weeks. Had him on just before the trade deadline. Talk then. Check it out. Go back there. Let's see. I don't know what that. Oh, okay. Yeah. Somebody talking crap about calls. We appreciate that, of course. People being friendly. Chuck says Kelly throws as hard as he can for 1 inning and takes 5 days to recover. True story. I wouldn't go that far, but also you're not quite wrong. Not quite wrong. Anyways, moving on real quick. We got one more voicemail from our friend. You know who it's going to be, guys. It's Richie and Devore. He's got some gripes. He's got some things he wants to talk about. By gum, we're going to hear him. What do you got to say, Richie?
Well, happy Monday, Clint. And it's always a happy Monday. Let's talk about this weekend, shall we? Shohei going as a 40-40 man now, knocking on the door at perhaps being 50-50. I think that he's wrapped up the National League MVP. It was a great weekend. We took care of business, and yes, I know Kershaw ran into a rough first inning, but he battled back. He showed me something. But here's the important thing: is the offense is going to be the key, and the offense can here and there, and we almost pulled it out, but unfortunately, it didn't work out. But at the end of the day, hey, we took our 2 out of 3. Kershaw bounced back. Shohei is historic in finally being on a ball club to where he doesn't have to be the man every day. And now with everybody winning, it's going to be a hell of a run. And this is what we've all been clamoring for, playing meaningful baseball down the stretch. And at the end of the day, that's going to be real exciting for all of us to watch. So break out that popcorn. It also too, that the Dodgers are going to be battle tested this time. They're going to have to scratch and claw into the postseason, and that's exactly what I want to have happen. And finally, let's talk about David Vassegh. David Vassegh is everything I hate about corporate sports media. He insults his fans. I caught his act a little bit on Saturday when everybody was panicking about Kershaw and the disappointing loss, and Dave was basically just insulting one caller after another. I'm sorry, Dave. As the host, as the moderator, you're supposed to console us. You're supposed to bring us reason, tell us why this happened, tell us that everything's going to be fine, not lie to us, but bring some sense and be the voice of reason and not insult your colors. And that's the reason why I can't stand Vassegh, and that's the reason why I support independent Dodger coverage like this one right here and everybody else who has a channel on YouTube that's Dodger related. So with that, let's enjoy the day off, bring on Baltimore, and as always, F the Dodger Stadium parking lot, F Manny Machado, F David Vassegh, yeah, I said it, and F the Ghost Runner. See ya.
Couple things. One, I don't condone, nor do I subscribe to slamming DV. I like Vassegh. He's got a character he has to play. And yes, he is paid by the organization, or at least he's paid by the radio network that the organization owns. So, he has to spin things positive a certain way. Still, not saying I don't agree with Richie on that one. 2, I pushed in a couple extra buttons I wasn't supposed to, so my bad. You guys might have cut out for a second there on the stream. So my bad on that one. My bad. But anyways, let's see. People are feeling a little bit less inclined to the overreactions voicemails today. I mean, we're not going to always be spitting sunshine up your ass, guys, or something like that. I don't know, but appreciate the calls. Appreciate the voicemails. It also gives me a chance to gives you guys a chance to share your voice, not just type it out and then me have to read it. I want to hear from people. I want to hear what people have to say, but not in the way like a Vassegh might, or another radio show where you're really limited on what you're allowed to say. here's a chance for your voice to be out there, your thoughts. It can also be questions. I don't care if you guys send in questions, things you want to talk about on this show. We can do that here. But again, appreciate Noah, appreciate Richie for calling in there. Yeah, thanks. Also throw that out there. Shohei's wrapped up that MVP award. We talked about that on Dodgers territory earlier. I gotta agree. I think it's real close. But importantly, we got a super chat, a $5 super chat from our friend Hamilton again. And the rule was $5 was a shot. And I think, well, I guess technically Richie also left a $5 super chat. So I got to do a shot now. So there's 2 shots for 2 $5 super chats. Yummy. YouTube, this is apple juice. Don't demonetize me. Oh, God. Hamilton asking, what's our ideal postseason batting order? And then he also said shot. So thank you again, Hamilton, for supporting the show and supporting my liver. I think what we saw saw a lot this weekend is pretty damn close to it. I like Ohtani in that 1 hole. I like Mookie, talking like Dave here. I like Mookie in that 2 hole. Freddie's going to be in that spot. I agree with what Dave said on, I think it was on Saturday. The best or maybe it was Sunday, but the best version of this club has a good Will Smith hitting in the 4 hole because there's just more strikeout in Teoscar Hernandez's bat. As great as Teo has been, I love Teoscar Hernandez. I'm pissed they haven't re-signed him up to this point yet because he needs to stick around. But if Willie's in that spot, we're going to be in a much better spot. And if he's earned being back in that cleanup spot, we're going to be in a much better spot because Will just has better contact when he's right. Your 5 hole, at this point, it's got to be Gavin Lux. Like, I kind of like Max Muncy down in the lineup. He's come out. He's been on fire since returning from his magical rib oasis, his McRib break or whatever the hell it was. So give me Lux and then give me Teo if he's right, and if Will is right, Teo in that 6 hole, and then where are we at? It's weird. I should have been writing it out along the way. So then it's Muncy in the 7 hole. I kind of liked what they did when they put Tommy Edman in the 8 hole and Miguel Rojas. I think this was Saturday. Miggy Rowe was in the 9 hole. I thought that was pretty cool, or maybe that was Friday. I kind of dug that lineup a little bit, having the lefty and then the righty lefty. I think it gave a little bit of I don't know if it gave anything, but maybe Tommy Edman is just better in that 8 hole. So that's kind of where I'm at versus lefties. We talked about it a whole bunch last week. I think Mookie Betts should be the second baseman in a perfect world. He should be the second baseman with Gavin Lux sitting versus lefties because he has been abysmal versus lefties all season long. And then you could put Andy Pages as your right field platoon versus lefties because he is the best hitting player versus left-handing. Saying this terribly, but he is the most violent. He hits lefties better than anybody on in this organization. There it is. Those are the words. You guys have got to remember. I've had beer and now I've had a couple of shots. But that's also just me stumbling through some words for fun there. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'll write it out and I'll make it a tweet because I don't think I did it very well there. Let's see what else we got here. I've seen a couple of folks. I think Paul C talking about Bobby Miller. I've seen some of the tweets here, comments. We're gonna focus back. Some of the comments talking about Bobby Miller's start, talking about Walker Buehler's start. I had this as a maybe part of the overreactions, but do we overreact to kind of bounce back starts from Bobby Miller and from Walker Buehler? Because those are pretty decent, especially like Bobby gave up the homer early, gave up another 2 runs, another run early, but afterwards you saw like kind of, I wouldn't call him vintage Bobby Miller because he doesn't have that kind of a track record, but what you saw out of Bobby, a little bit of intensity, some command. He mentioned the fact that he actually had his curveball for arguably the first time all season. Was pretty impressive what we saw out of Bobby Miller. I don't know that what we saw out of Bobby and some of the good parts of what we saw out of Walker, I don't know that those are enough to kind of move them up in the pecking order in for the pitching staff. That was just my thoughts on it. But Bobby Miller, he rattles off a few more of those. Maybe he could be kind of sneak his way back into the bullpen picture or something like that. He's not going to get a chance to start straight up unless, as Mr. Burns said back in 92 or 93, there's 9 misfortunes. Unless there's 9 misfortunes and everybody dies and everybody's heads fall off, he's not going to get a chance to start. That's just a fact. But if he can be that guy who's a reliever, who's somebody who can get you 2, 3, maybe 4 innings, be that Alex Wood guy, or get you 2 just absolutely dominant, filthy innings, touching 100 plus. There's some quality in there. If he's the guy who figures it out and takes Joe Kelly's spot, we're okay with that. We see more, though. We see, I think, Bobby on Thursday and Walker, as Mr. Summer Obe says on the chat here, Walker is going on Wednesday. So, and then hopefully we start to see some guys coming back. We see a couple more of these guys coming back because that's where we're at right now. Let's talk. I think I might have missed. Yes, I did. $4.99 super chat. I could say I said it was $5 super chats for the shot, but Noah, it's very rude. He says, "Hi everybody, currently working, just here for the shot." So cheers, Noah. It tastes like liberty. Guys, if you want to see me die, send $5. Let's get into the news and notes section of the show. We got to talk about the latest with Tyler Glasnow because I don't like the updates. I really don't like the latest Tyler Glasnow updates as Mr. Classic worries about my health with the boozies here. But Dave Roberts over the weekend, and I'll ask you guys this, on a scale of 1 to 10, how scared are you of hearing Dave Roberts say that he hopes somebody is back and healthy before the end of the regular season? Because I get pretty worried when I hear Dave use the word hope. But he said the slower process than we originally anticipated when it comes to Tyler Glasnow. Glass did finally play catch on Saturday at 60 feet, which is behind schedule from where they originally thought. He's somebody who didn't even want to go on the IL. And now he's somebody that maybe is going to be a 3-week guy or something like that. He might not return until the middle of September, where now we're doing that thing again that we've seen the last couple of years where they're expecting guys, they're hoping guys come back late in the season and put the pieces together immediately against Major League pitching and continue to get the job done through the postseason. And it has not worked for this organization. I'm not saying, they committed 5 years and $135 million or whatever it is to Glasnow this offseason in that extension. I'm not saying go out there and break him. I don't think he's on the IL if he's a 1-year guy. If they don't have him for a few more years, I think they kind of let it eat a little bit. But still, when I hear Dave say the word hope, the hairs on the back of your neck start to raise a little bit. You get a little scared right there. That's where I'm at. I don't like that. I'm worried. I'm now more worried. I'm cranking up the worried meter, which I don't have when it comes to Tyler Glasnow's return. Paul C. taking a different angle says you got to save Glasnow for when it counts. I can understand that, but you still need to see a little bit of something out of them, out of him, out of Yamamoto. We're going to talk about next. So you still need to see something out of them before the postseason. Like, don't just, oh, come on, Hamilton. Super chat in just a second. Your boy's going to die tonight. But, it's bitten this team in the ass a number of times in recent years. So you worry. But these are different people. They're not Dodgers people, I guess, question mark. Maybe it won't be as bad as we've seen in the past. Maybe it won't be a repeat of Dustin May 2 years ago or whenever it was when we expected him to come back and then he was a non-factor in the postseason. Kershaw was supposed to come back and he was a non-factor by early September. But I'm unhappy. I'm worried. I'm a little scared. So scared that I'm going to drink about it. Very scared about Glasnow and Dave Roberts saying they hope he's going to be back by the end of the regular season. But we got another $5 shot super chat from our guy Hamilton, who's bored apparently tonight. And cheers, Hamilton. I appreciate you. And again, YouTube, apple juice. It's 100% apple juice. Splashy apple juice. You guys want to? You could see up my skirt. There it is. Thank you. I'm sorry. Some people who oh fuck you. 499 super chat from Bob Nightingale. Rebecca, I feel your comment, by the way. It says Rebecca says, "Ugh, 2021 memories," and ooh, you know what? Oh, that was for Bob Nightingale. For $4.99 is supposed to be $5, guys. God, that penny goes a long way. We're feeling good. We're feeling froggy or something like that. We should probably rush through this so I don't actively die on the stream. But, guys, I appreciate you. BC talking about 21 and 22, the years that got away. I throw in 23 in there, too. It wasn't as bad. That was more of James Outman helping Kershaw crater sooner, them not having enough pitching right away, and the offense just being non-existent against the Diamondbacks. Also, I should have mentioned the Diamondbacks a little bit. I think Richie had it in his voicemail talking about the Diamondbacks. Hey, they're for real. We'll talk more about the Diamondbacks on the channel this week about the NL West. Important thing is the Dodgers still have a lead. They are masters of their own destiny. You keep winning, it doesn't matter what the guy behind you does. But you start to get a little worried. Still, you know they're going to make the postseason, so it's not that massive of a deal. Shit. It's not that massive of a deal that they're chasing. They're on your heels. I want to see this team keep, hey, Richard Flores, it doesn't meet the quota, but you want to see this team keep having to fight for something. I'm okay with some competition. It's September because we haven't seen that since 2021, and this Dodgers team has not gone deep into the postseason in 2021. And I take this roster, this position player roster, night and day, like leaps and bounds. I take it over that 21 roster where we had guys like Andy Burns getting playing time, Billy fucking McKinney getting playing time. We also have a $4.99 $5 super chat from Bob Nightingale again. I wasn't planning on drinking a lot today. I wasn't planning on drinking at all on this Modelo Monday, but it turned into a Jim Beam Monday. Sponsor your boy again. They don't even drink on that other channel, Jim Beam. I was the guy. I was your guy. But anyways, Mr. Obe says, drop the booze for 420 gummies. It's not my thing. You can talk to the Beer Fairy, also known as Mrs. FRG, on that. If anybody wants to send us some 420 gummies, let me know in the comments below. Mr. Classic, concerned for my health, says, I know you got to make it big, but I'd rather you get healthy first. Listen, I'm just going to do what the people want. It's an off day. We're dicking around. We're having a good time. I'm enjoying the show. Swollen Sausage wants me to chase it with a beer. It's a good point. That's where we're at. All right. There's all your Glasnow talk. Let's talk Yamamoto real quick, because there is positive news. There is good Yoshinobu Yamamoto news. It continues to get good. He threw another bullpen over the weekend. Rehab assignment. He's going out on a rehab assignment Wednesday at AAA Oklahoma City. Could be activated shortly after if all goes well, if he comes out of that healthy. There's some rumor, or not rumors, it's either going to be 2 starts. It could be just 1 start back, and then they bring, or one rehab start, and then they bring him back. I would much rather see, honestly, listen, I'm somebody who prefers the more cautious route when it comes to the rehab assignments. Like, I didn't like how quickly this team brought Clayton Kershaw back. It's kind of worked, and also they kind of needed him pretty badly because, thankfully, like, Bobby Miller's had some better starts of late, or at least the most recent one. Walker Buehler had a decent start in his most recent one as we burp a little bit and try to hide it. But if they didn't have Kershaw back when they did, they'd be in a much worse spot. So it's like I'm 50-50 on it. I want to see Yamamoto back with the Dodgers and healthy and pitching, but at the same time, I'd rather them not rush him. But also, in that breath, it's like if he's going to be throwing, why not just do it at the big league level? If they say the stuff is already ready, fucking shit. If they say he's already ready to go, as Hamilton tries to murder me, if they say he's ready to go, then let him go. Let him eat. Let him get 1 rehab start. see where he's at after 2 or 3 days, and then plug him back into the rotation, even if it's 3 starts, 3 innings and like 45 pitches. If it's 5 innings and 65, 70 pitches by that point, it's fine. It's fine by that point. But the fact that we have positive Yamamoto news at this point, where he was kind of one of those Dave Roberts hope guys, we'll take the positive Yamamoto news. In unpositive news, or I don't know, I'm really mixed. I'm really mixed on this because we got another super chat, and Hamilton again in the chat trolling with money. I'm again very mixed on this because I like money. NS says Hamilton bitchin' support, so we appreciate the support, guys. Just to let you know, like, you are the ones that make this channel happen. Watching the show, sharing the show, letting your friends know. We're not in bed with the Dodgers in any way. I'm not. I say we because there's some surprises coming in the channel in the coming days. We're not beholden to the team in any way. I want this to be as raw, as real as a show of a show for you guys, and you guys supporting it, whether it be through Patreon, whether it be through YouTube members, or whether it be through being, is this a dick move? Is it being a troll like Hamilton, supporting the channel through, I'm not going to do 5 shots, but I'll chug the beer. I'll chug the beer for you, Hamilton. Is that fair? Is that fair? I'm just going to throw that on there. So we'll finish the beer here. See, I feel weird because this is just a lot of down air. I hate like open air. But anyways, Joel wants me to elaborate. Elaborate on what? You let me know in the comments below. Borat Ohtani says, translation, Dodgers don't want me. Do you see my other show? We get players all the time. Like, all the time. Even with my old job, we weren't beholden to the team. You just had that underlying feeling of needing to respect them. Dry Protoss, also a supporter on Patreon. Thank you, Dry Protoss. This is Miller. No Modelo. No, the Modelo fridge is empty. I'm sorry. We're going to make it happen. We're going to fill it up this week. And we won't ever have to do this again. Although, this is my camping go-to beer. But anyways, I got to finish this. Oh, God. And to top it off, for Hamilton. This is terrible. What is it? Listen, I understand I'm not trying to be like a professional or whatever, but this is Mr. Classic worried about me. I can listen, your boy can handle a shot or 3, but I probably shouldn't handle any more. Quickly, the last bit of Dodgers talk here to throw on the Dodgers news and notes section of the show. Already talked a little bit around it. Brusdar Gratterall threw a bullpen on Saturday. Hey, Brusdar, let's go. Rehab, according to Dave Roberts, a rehab assignment is coming next week. Could be a short one. Dave says, I'm still counting on him. So he's somebody, Brusdar, we already talked a little bit about him. He is somebody who could be that guy that gets rid of Joe Kelly. And to that, we also say, There it is. I found the button. Give me the bazooka. Give me bazooka all day long. More than just 8 pitches before the hammy blows, but not hammy, who's paying for a bunch of shots. It feels like I'm in Arizona right now, to be honest. But, it's worth noting. I'll say it again. Worth noting that the Dodgers are publicly concerned about Joe Kelly's performance. So even though we've only had 2/3 of an inning, not even 2/3 of a fucking shit. We got a $20 super chat from Hamilton, so we'll deal with that after my thought. But with Brusdar, he does not have any sort of track record this season. He's thrown literally 8 pitches at the big league level before the hammy gave on him. I still trust him more than I trust Joe Kelly at this point. Like, Joe Kelly is not 2018 Red Sox postseason Joe Kelly. I can't remember him doing anything like exceptionally great for the Dodgers in the postseason. Like, yeah, he was around, he was there in 20, but Bazooka did more things. He gave us the pissed off hat throw, or the hat throw that pissed off Manny Machado, Manny Machado, F the Dodger Stadium parking lot. Selena's in the chat saying, pew, 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 pew. Borat Ohtani saying, Hamilton, you a pimp or something? Hey, Borat, stick to the character. Say, my wife. Thank you. But also, yeah, Hamilton is, Bob Nightingale, Hamilton, you hiring? He's on one. He's definitely on one right now. Kenny Chung, worried about me as well, says, AA is calling Clint. Hamilton is the devil. I'll tell you that. I know Hamilton in real life, and, he has his moments. You know what I really feel bad for is the people who listen to the podcast side of the show, like when things like this happen. Like, I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you consider hitting the like button for me giving you like something that's both Dodgers news, Dodgers analysis, Dodgers insight, but also a man being stupid as hell. Like, we're having fun, right? Hit the thumbs up at least if you're having a little bit of fun as we're knocking on the door of getting out of here. Like, I'm fine. I'm lucid. I'm here. I'm alive. But apparently, I got a $20 super chat I got to deal with from Hamilton. So he says, thank you for all you do. Best on the tube. And I say, upskirt. Cheers to you, Hamilton. Oh, YouTube definitely is going to know that it's not apple juice. Oh God, I should have really got the worst stuff. I should have got the bad stuff. That stuff is fun. That's some good stuff. All right, quickly, let's talk about just for a second. I want to talk about that Orioles series because the Orioles are coming to town. Storyline for the series: watch the Dodgers play a team that is in playoff contention. That's it. Jack Flaherty starts for the Dodgers. Walker Buehler starts for the Dodgers, and I believe still TBD. Bobby Miller starts for the Dodgers. So. Dodgers, go out and sweep these fuckers. That's all I want to see. Sweep the fucking Orioles. That's what your fan base wants to see. Also, anybody going to Dodger Stadium on Wednesday, be safe. That's the Shohei decoy bobblehead day. Be fucking safe. Because my God, there's a gold one. Did you guys see the gold one the Dodgers dropped? People are going to get killed at Dodger Stadium. I'm a little worried. Sammy Boy Smith says, I'm down for a sweep, and that's the attitude we want. Guys, quickly, drop your predictions for this Orioles series, and then we'll get out of here before things start getting blurry on everybody. With me being everybody. BC says, is thinking 2 out of 3. I'll also take 2 out of 3 against the Orioles. That's a damn good series. Swollen Sausage pointing out. Burp. Also pointing out that Baltimore is on the colder side right now. They're still a game and a half behind the Yankees, so they're a good ball club. They got some pop. They got some poise. They won 100 games last year. They got a lot of guys who look exactly the same, and coming to Dodger Stadium. And Jackson Holiday can hit all of a sudden, I think, unless it's changed. Juice Nero says 2 of 3. Pinsanity 2 out of 3. Beerasama 2 out of 3. Dodgers getting some love. Okay, so who's losing a game though? Who's losing a game? So what did I say again? We got Flaherty, Buehler, and Bobby Miller. Who loses the game? So an NS. Thank you. So it's 2 or 3. The Dodgers lose the Walker Buehler game. You know what? I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. It's a hot take. I think we see Walker Buehler's best start of the season in this series. I was gonna try to do something bigger, but then I just was like, there's not really much. There's not really much there, guys. Walker Buehler's best start comes on, was it Wednesday? Wednesday, I said. There it is. Wednesday, you're going to see Walker Buehler's best start. And if not, it's because Hamilton got me drunk. That's what it is. That's what I'm saying. Mr. /X says, I'm dunking my Orioles in milk. And you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say Bike Bell to that one. Pinsanity says, no, you're kind of drunk, Clint. I'm not sober now, apparently. Like when we started the show, like an hour 10 ago when I pushed to go live, your boy was a lot more sober than he is now. But that's where I'm at. Walker Buehler going to have his best start of the 2024 season. Book it. Book it now. If you guys are longtime fans of me, who've been hanging out with me, you could brook it. That's where we're at right now. Elisheva Jones, thank you very much. I appreciate you, Elisheva, because you're still here through the shit show of me having way too many shots and a beer and yada yada. And Elisheva Jones says that I have a fabulous Dodger show, and I appreciate that. I try to bring the best of like both worlds. I want it to be entertaining and I want it to be informative. I don't want to be the guy that's straight-laced. I don't want to just give you news. I don't want to just give you an interview or whatever it is. I want to give you something that's raw analysis, that's like real insight into things, so we're going to have a good time. But anyways, that said, it's about time we get the hell out of here, guys. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you guys listen on the podcast side, I'll say again, if you did, or if you do listen on the podcast side of things, if you could leave a rating there, if you could leave a review there, if you could say that Hamilton is very rude and mean there because he just left another $5 super chat for a shot on the way out, then you can do that. Just like butter? I don't know what that means. It's not even a thing, but that's an interesting one. Joel Rodriguez says fire mediocre Joe Davis. Woof. I love Joe. He's a nice kid. Anyways, thank you guys also for the questions, the comments, the interaction on the show. I feel despite all of this, it was a good show. I think I'm not very far gone. Like I'm getting there in about 35 minutes when I'm editing the podcast side of it. It's going to be there. But thank you so much for the super chats, despite the fact that they were mostly meant for evil tonight. But you know what? I might be able to keep the lights on. I might be able to pay the electricity bill in the month of September. So that's pretty cool. But I got to thank our channel members, our Patreon supporters. You guys, you're not just one. You're not just one super chat or whatever. You guys are around month after month supporting the channel, and that means so fucking much to me. You guys are great on Patreon, on YouTube members. You guys can also help support the channel, help support independent Dodgers coverage, sometimes drunk Dodgers coverage here on the YouTube by supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/realfrg. Links are in the description, by the way, or just click the little join button. I'll say Patreon is much better than YouTube. YouTube takes a lot of money away from any of the super chats, from any of the members and all that. So just throw that out there. Patreon goes further if you're looking to do that. But and with that, if you join, you can join fellow like-minded Dodgers fans on Discord. It's a good time. It's a fun time. Kenny Chung worried about my liver. You know what? YOLO, as they say. I keep hitting the mic arm, I gotta get a Wi-Fi mic arm. But anyways, shout out to the mods. I don't know how many mods were in the chat today. Shout out to Diane Schroeder, who's still in Cabo, I believe. She'll be back hopefully soon enough. But thank you to the mods for doing a kick-ass job. All Dodgers is presented by Bet Online. Use that promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, so they know I sent you. I'm Real FRG on all of the things. Find me. Links are in the description. Hopefully we earned a thumbs up on the way out. Hopefully we earned a subscribe. There it is, right there, on the way out. And I'll see you on the next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.